Hello friends! In today's episode I'm going to show you how to upgrade your media unit and add Android Auto, CarPlay, or even screen mirroring to the original Sync 2 on a 2014 Ford Focus. This upgrade lets you use your favorite navigation app and your preferred music apps while still keeping the original Sync 2 menu and all of its factory functions fully intact. The same procedure applies to other Ford models equipped with the Sync 2 system, such as the Mondeo, Escape, Fiesta, and C-Max. But first, let's do a quick unboxing. This is the CarABC module. Full disclosure, this product was offered to me for free to test, but don't worry, this review will be completely objective, just like all the reviews on this channel. Thanks to this collaboration, my followers get a special 15% discount code valid for the first 20 modules. Let's take a look at what you get in the box. First of all, we have an instruction manual. It's not as detailed as I would like, but I've installed dozens of these modules and I'm going to show you every step so clearly that even a beginner can do it quickly. Of course, you can always buy the product and ask a more experienced friend or a specialist to install it. Next, we have a wiring harness with a USB port for media playback and the RCA cables. There's also a microphone for phone calls while using CarPlay or Android Auto, and yes, voice commands with virtual assistants like Siri or Google Assistant work too. We have an audio-video wiring harness that connects to an additional board, a main wiring harness for power equipped with quad-lock connectors, a wiring harness for CAN bus decoding, the board that allows video switching between the original menu and the module's menu, and of course the main module itself. These are the ports and the dip switches, but I'll show you everything you need to do once we get to the car. I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long with unimportant details. Let me show you how simple the installation is. Use a plastic trim removal tool to take off this trim piece. It's pretty easy, just take your time, work your way around it and use the tool to unclip the trim. Then set it aside. Now you'll need a T25 bit to remove a single screw from the lower part of this trim around the gear shifter. Next, remove this small trim piece. Underneath it you'll find 4 screws. Once you loosen it a bit, pull it straight down. Don't tilt it or it will get stuck because of the rear console. Here are the 4 screws. I'll remove them one by one. Now we unclip the trim around the gear shifter. For some parts of the installation, you may need to turn on the car and move the shifter to give yourself more space. It's best to wear gloves now because some edges of this console with the air vents can be quite sharp. When I pull the console out, the single connector for the volume controls disconnected by itself. Now we have several screws holding the screen and the media unit. Let's remove the screen and disconnect the connectors on the back. I'm using a pick tool just to show you how the quad lock connector clip works. Press the clip and pull the lever. For the smaller connector, press the clip on top and pull it out. There's enough space behind the screen for the module. Now that I have removed the screen, I'll move to a workbench to install the accessory board included in the box. To remove the screws on the monitor bracket, use a Torx bit screwdriver. For the rest of the screws, you only need a Phillips screwdriver. Inside the housing you'll find the motherboard with 2 ribbon cables, one wide and one narrow. For the wide cable, lift the plastic latch and gently pull out the ribbon. For the narrow one, push the pins using your fingers. I use the screwdriver just to show you the pins. Along with the board from the box, you get a set of longer screws so you can mount the larger board on top of the original one. After installing the larger board on top of the original, you first need to insert the original ribbon cables. Then insert the ribbon cables from the box into the new extra slots. Be careful, the printed text on the small ribbon must face upward and the larger ribbon must go in with the black side facing down. Take the wiring harness from the box that connects to the motherboard and insert the dedicated connector. Route the cable out through this opening, there's plenty of space. We're done with the screen, so we can reassemble the housing. Now we return to the car and continue the installation. Connect the female quad lock connector from the wiring harness to the original male quad lock. Connect the LVDS cable that we attached to the screen's motherboard to the module. Then this small connector. Now these two black connectors from two different harnesses. Next, connect the wiring harness with the RCA cables and USB port. I won't route the USB cable down to the passenger footwell because I'm not planning to play media files from a flash drive or use wired CarPlay or Android Auto, since the module also has wireless connectivity, but that's up to your preference. Only the power supply and CAN cables are left. Set the dip switches according to the installation manual for your Ford model. On the focus, switches 4, 7 and 8 must be on. Attention, if your car has a factory rear view camera, switch number 1 must also be on. The middle dip switch stays exactly as the seller preset it. Now we're going to install the external microphone in the upper part of the windshield near the mirror housing. It's very straightforward. Start at the mirror and route the cable under the headliner to the A-pillar trim, then under the trim to the weather seal and down to the side panel of the dashboard. I'll use a guide wire to pull the microphone jack behind the module. You just tape the jack to the guide wire and pull it through, then plug the microphone into the module's microphone jack. It's labeled mic. I like to tie all the wires together, it helps keep the module firmly in place. Insert the module behind the screen. Connect the quad lock connector to the screen. Note that you no longer need to connect the second screen connector. Turn on the ignition and test if everything works by holding down the end call button on the steering wheel. This switches between the original menu and the module's menu. After you reinstall the radio console, you can also use the sound button for the same function. Everything works just fine and it seems like the module works even faster than I expected. I'll put everything back together. I won't show you that part because it's just the initial steps in reverse. All trim pieces are clipped back into place. Now let's connect phones with both operating systems and test the apps and screen mirroring. To activate audio, go to the module settings, system, and switch on Use Car's Bluetooth channel. You can also use aux as the audio source if your car supports it. If you don't see aux or line in here, then your car doesn't have this option. I can't include the real audio in the video because I'll get copyright claims, but I guarantee the sound quality is very good. I'll leave all the footage in real time so you can see how well everything runs, almost zero lag, even though it's wireless. Okay folks, I've installed dozens of these modules and I can honestly say I'm impressed with the CarABC module. Everything runs smoothly with no errors or glitches, the sound is excellent and all the apps run perfectly. Thanks to the effort that went into making this tutorial, CarABC generated a 15% discount code exclusively for my dear followers and subscribers. If you want to support this effort, don't forget to hit those magic buttons under the video, subscribe, like, comment, and of course, hype. I wish you all the best. Bye bye.